Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now I know that the title for this video is a little weird and I will explain. So problems, I'm going to show you some of the problems I'm having. We're still a month away from opening up, so it's not a time sensitive issue, but we're going to go into that, and we do have coffee now. So I'm going to show you a little bit around, give you your normal update. Of course, place is still a disaster, but a lot has happened today. I will show you what was done. First of all, little things like we got the glass on top of the counter here. We did get a pastry display. Now, the first thing you may notice is that it is tinted. We did not want it tinted. We wanted that to be clear. So now we're going to buy a light that goes on the inside and lights it up, because now that it's tinted, it's going to be hard to see the pastries inside. We had this custom made by our woodworker. He did a very good job, but like I said, didn't really want it tinted, but you know, what are you going to do? He did touch up some spaces that didn't have any stain on it, so now that looks a little bit better. Don't know if you noticed that in one of the previous videos. Let's keep looking around and I'll show you some other things. Now, as you can see, some of the grinders are missing off the top from last week, and they are right behind me. They're just on the floor in this mess. We are getting it organized. You could probably tell if you've been cheating and looking further than I'm showing you. But I'm going to get back to this and tell you why we've got the two espresso machines out when we really don't have that much room, and some of the problems that I'm having, and this is all coffee stuff. So we're finally going to be able to talk about some coffee. Now, a lot of you, and I really do appreciate it, were asking about the water filtration that I showed you last time, and you said, well, there's so much filtration going on. What about the minerals? I was like, oh, well, I'm sure there's something in there that puts the minerals back in. There wasn't. So thank you for reminding me of that and having me check on it. So they put a remineralization filter on the very end of it to put the minerals back in the water so the coffee extracts better. So shout out to those of you who told me about that. You will see, if I show you closer, there's sawdust all over these sinks, and that is because today they put in some of the shelving. And as you can see, my wife and I were stacking it up, trying to see where we are going to fit everything. Will it continue to look like this? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. We're going to try to figure out what the best way to store things will be. We've got more storage things coming in. That's why the rest of the place still is a disaster. Over here, we have even more shelving. Kind of show you up there a little bit. So we've got our to-go cups, which this is a terrible spot to put them. Probably won't be there very long. These are some teacups that we have. The hot water goes here, and if you take off this top, it's the coffee cup. Cute little setup there. We do have those, just random things stacked at the moment because we didn't know where to put anything. We just trying to make it a little bit more bearable. We do have a vacuum now. It's very quiet. It's not that great of a vacuum, but we have one, and we've already hung it up. So now I'm like, well, since we've already drilled holes in the wall, I don't want to go buy another one. What happens is as soon as you disconnect this thing to empty it, it just falls all over the place. We'll figure it out sooner or later. All right, so those are some of the updates that I've had. Now, coffee. All right. Now, I know I'm going to throw some of you into a tizzy. I know how particular coffee people are, and I'm one of them. I'm extremely particular as well. So, let's go over to Exhibit A. We have Exhibit A, which is this espresso machine, the La San Marco 105E. This is an older unit. It's from 2002. It's been fully restored. However, when I went to pick this up, they demonstrated everything to me. By the way, I paid 750 euros for this machine, so it wasn't very expensive. The only thing they never showed me how to do was how to program the buttons. No problem. I pulled off the internet a manual that goes all the way back to the time this was made to find out how to program it, only to find out that the program button won't work, meaning the button is right here. It does work. It does other things too, but that is the button you would click to program. It never goes into program mode. And I have tried to work with the people to get it rectified, and I am not having any success whatsoever on getting this fixed. Now, I know I could use this machine manually. I am used to doing it manually. As a matter of fact, it's really the only way I know how to do things manually, using a scale, timing it, all the things that you learn when you go through barista school. And I had this little tiny unit for a while now since we lived here, and when I was in Thailand, something similar to this one that I learned, and it was completely manual as well. So I really want to have one with programmable doses. That's the reason I picked this thing. So therefore, I cannot get the technician came out here to fix it, can't fix it. The people who sold it to me aren't interested in fixing it. So I'm probably going to sell it just like it is to somebody for a good price and say it only works manual, which isn't going to break many people's hearts here in Albania. They'll probably pick this up really quick. Now, that brings me over to my backup machine. Now, this is the Rancilio. It's, I guess, Epoca, E-P-O-C-A, if I'm saying that correctly. This is a commercial grade machine. It was not made for a home machine. However, it does use an easy amount of voltage where you could use this at home, and maybe some people do. This is an older unit, fully restored from that same place. This thing, I did not know anything about it. And all I can tell you is that I was practicing making coffee with it, and I was going back to back to back to back to back to back to back for hours, seeing if I could wear this thing out. Could I slow it down? What's it gonna do? Can it really handle everything I can throw at it? It handled everything flawlessly. Okay, so that's good. I'm debating on using this as my primary machine. Now, before you freak out and go, no, you need a 2-group, hold on. We only, when it's all said and done, are gonna have, let's see if I get this right, 5 indoor tables and 4 outdoor tables. Was gonna be 5 outdoor tables, now it's not. So that should be a total of 9 tables unless I misspoke. 9 tables. Not a whole lot of customers I can have at one time. And I know you want to buy your machine not based on how many you do a day, but how many you have to do during a rush. I rushed this thing as fast as I could using a grind by weight Eureka grinder. So that part was real easy. I was flying. It worked great. Now, what's the problem? So this is where I'm going to get everybody all crazy. This wand, it has a typical, let me just go ahead and take it off here. It has a typical, for a commercial machine, 4-hole spout. I hate it. I hate the 4-hole spout. And I'm going to tell you why I hate it. I used it over and over again, and my milk looked just like all the other milk from the lattes and the espressos that I get here in Albania and other parts of the world. I did not realize why the milk always looked a little thin and way too bubbly, because I've never had that issue before until I used this 4-hole spout. Now, I did the right thing. I went on YouTube to look up videos about how to use a 4-hole wand. A lot of people said you put it straight down, not at an angle, right in the middle, and let it do its thing. Others said to tilt it as normal. Others said you got to slow down the steam coming out of it and make it a little bit more delicate. Here's the problem I was having. When I'm using this 4-hole steam wand, it's going too fast. It will heat up a milk jug like this for a cappuccino within seconds, and it's going way too fast and powerful, not only does it heat up way too fast and get way too hot, and it puts in too many bubbles. And yes, I know to start with the tip barely in, start it up, and then you gently bring it down to let a little bit of air in and then bring it back up. I got all that. However, I just don't like the way the milk is. So I brought in, and I didn't like it. It just did not do right with the cappuccino or a latte that I made. So I brought in this one from my house because it's got a little one hole spout. So I made the coffee over here, and when I got to the milk, which of course, a one spout is going to slow it down immensely. It won't be as fast. But with this little thing, I'm able to get creamier, velvety, smooth milk. And when you put it in the coffee, it tastes fantastic. So what I'm going to do, and I've ordered 2 of them, is I'm going to change out this 4-hole and try it with a 1-hole, hoping to slow this thing down a little bit because the pressure's good, the heating's good. With those 4 holes, it's just cooking. Has anyone else had that issue? I'm just curious. And be nice. Okay, yes, I know it's all about technique, and if you stick with the 4-hole long enough, I'm sure you would improve it some. I just don't think I'll ever get the outcome from the 4 holes the way I can with the 1-hole. I don't care if it's slower, but I want that extremely velvety, smooth, looks like paint milk. So I'm curious as to what you got to say about that in the comments. And also, what are your thoughts about a machine like this? By the way, Rancilio replaced this version. I think it's called the Rancilio Class 5. This is the predecessor to the Class 5. A lot of you might be more familiar with the Class 5. And I can tell you on this Eureka grinder that I'm using, it's the W65 Atom grind by weight. This thing is absolutely amazing. It works really well. I forgot I just turned it on to show you, but it's not plugged in because we had a huge storm last night. So I cut the circuit breaker to everything for a while and unplugged some things. So that is not plugged in at the moment, but I'm really happy with the grinder. I haven't got to the Malkonigs, which are sitting here behind a bucket, waiting to be used eventually. So that will be coming up in a little while. But hey, at least we're starting to talk about coffee things and issues. I'm happy about that instead of construction. I'm tired of talking about construction. But anyway, give me your comments and your thoughts on both the 2 group, the 1 group, all these kind of things. And again, please excuse the mess. Because there was drilling and everything else, there's dust and everything's still in disarray. All this down here at the bottom will all be for storage. So hopefully that will take up the rest of our stuff. I can't wait to show you the way things are going to go. And if you are here in this city ever, make sure you come by and say hello. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And I'm going to end this by saying thank you in Albanian, which is Faleminderit.